Hello. Hi, writing friends. Hi, lazies. Happy Sunday. Welcome to another Lazy Gang hang. What's going on? Can my co-hosts introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Hudson, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
That's it.
I'm also editing. Sorry, I blanked in that moment. I was eating right before, so I was thinking about that. But today I'm gonna edit my story that I'm working on, and I'm also going to finish this apple pastry that I made before the stream.
Oh my
Oh, can you
gosh.
show us?
Yeah.
It doesn't look cute anymore. It very much looks like this, but
You've eaten a lot of it.
I'm eating the filling, but now I'm eating the flaky pastry bits, like the really good parts and dipping it into the cinnamon sauce. So,
Oh my God.
but it's not pretty anymore, but it's the best part in my opinion. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Malin. I've put Malin tries again this time because I'm also in the process of it editing, although I haven't started officially. I've just prepared the comments. I've basically printed this baby again.
Woo, printed copy.
And I'm going to go through all of the critic partners' feedback comments and just try and sort my hopefully last big revision before I can get onto line editing. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing today.
Awesome.
And
hi, I'm Anna Robbins. You're on my channel. Hi. It's been a week. We're struggling, but doing fine. I have learned how to type, minus my dominant thumb. So, yep, I will go ahead and throw up our banner since we're just talking about it now, or what we're working on today and what's up for February. I am still in the middle of my zero draft for my cozy fantasy. And I haven't written in like 2 weeks, really. So we're trying to get out of our writing slump. And that's honestly going to be me for the rest of February, is trying to get through this muddy middle.
The middle is hard.
Yeah, the middle is hard because the plot is really starting to matter a lot, and I have to think really hard about how things are gonna.
That's when I start outlining more and I go, shit,
Yeah.
I should have done this before.
Exactly. Yeah, the act one was like just pure vibes and very episodic, but now the arc that I wanted for the whole season is really starting to matter, and I have to figure out what I'm doing.
Is like the part that's called fun and games meant to be in Act 1 or in Act 2?
2.
So, because like what you're describing sounds more like you were doing fun and games, basically.
Yeah.
Like pure vibes, just the characters doing what they want to do.
Yes.
Fun and games is the least fun and games part of the whole.
I don't get it because it's always like I have to think about what is fun
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. Supposedly it's supposed to be the part of the book that is the reason why the reader reads it, because it's in the summary of like, oh, this is what's happening.
The promise of the premise bit or something, right? Like it's when you deliver on that promise and you go like, for instance, say, I promised you there would be covens of witches. Now you're really seeing them casting spells and stuff like that. Or I mean, I'm just
I agree. Sorry. I agree with what Miranda said. Sorry, I just saw her comment. It popped up.
Yeah. Yes, I had a much more fun time with this fun and games in this project because it is just kind of like a little campy and a little wacky. And now I'm like towards the end of Act 2 where you're like going up to the climax and everything. So it's getting a little less fun. I'll just say hello to everybody. Hi, Nina and Michael and Mars and Violet. I don't know what this is supposed to mean.
Yeah, because it appears really strangely on StreamYard.
Yeah. Nice.
I thought of all the euphemisms that I could think of, but I don't know.
Yeah, I thought I would roll past that. Mars is hoping to finish reading The City We Became today. I've got less than 100 pages left, but one of the sprints is probably going to be for lunch for me. That's fair. We can do some lunch sprints.
Yeah, we were saying how this is a mealtime for all three of us.
Yeah.
We're all in very different places.
Yeah.
Because it's breakfast for Hudson, lunch for Anna, and technically almost dinner for me. Although I usually have it at 7 and it's like 6, so it's gonna be a sprint where I'm gonna make my dinner at some point.
Well, if you need a longer one, let me know.
I'll be like, hey, can you like just like 35 minutes here? I need to make my.
Just let me know. Yeah. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to say about your February and what you want to do this month?
I like how Hudson immediately went at Malin. Do you have
I said it in my introduction where I'm like,
That's true.
Let's not repeat it here. But also, I'm like, I just want to know.
So how's your editing progress though? Before we move on, like where? Give me a sense of the progress bar.
I feel like I'm being put on the spot here.
Both of you. Yeah, both of you.
I actually haven't done much because I only started really yesterday/today over the weekend. I sort of took the rest of the week to do nothing because also it was my birthday week, so I'm allowed to do nothing on my birthday
Absolutely.
week. Like, But then I started just at the moment. All I'm doing is using a Notion page where I'm compiling all of my CP's comments, and that includes Anna's comments. And I'm gonna now make a table. I know I'm doing a lot of organization, but I'm now going to basically do a table where I'm going to put which ones are like general comments I need to sort, like bigger stuff, and which ones are more like inline page specific comments. Yeah. That's it.
So
that's what I've done.
Have you opened the printed draft yet?
I did, and this is going to sound so narcissistic, but I got sucked into a passage.
Yes.
That's good.
I opened it at a random spot and I got sucked into like it's a passage where she's at the library figuring out a bunch of things about what is actually going on, and it's a bit like detective-ish moment. And I was like, ooh, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's the wrong name, and just corrected that very quickly, and that was it.
I love that. Are you going to sit down and read it like back to front before you dive in, or?
I think I'm first going to do my list of like the bigger general comments, because the inline comments are going to be, that's fine, I can do that as I'm writing.
Yeah.
But the bigger ones, I sort of need to have an idea of, okay, I just want to get, I'm like, this is my first time revising, the CP comments from anyone, because this is my first time having critique partner feedback on anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is the right technique. Maybe people have a better one, but I'm just going to do, okay, for the general ones, I need to sort this in this passage, that in this passage, etc. And then I'll go, read it line by line, basically.
Awesome.
But not immediately. It's been a while. I haven't touched it in a little while.
How about you, Hudson? Where are you in your story as far as
I would say for the revision, I'm in the if you do like the 4-part story, then I'm on the end of part 3, about to enter into part 4. Which I guess is not into Act 3. Let's just use all the different terms.
Yeah. Well, that's really far. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been trucking. You've been so committed. You're rocking it. Like,
thank you.
Every day Hudson sprinting in the Discord. I could never be so committed when
and we know that you hate this process, so even better. Like kudos.
Yeah. I just want to be free of it. I don't know.
And you're so close.
I am. Yeah.
Are you enjoying rereading your story, even if you have to do the annoying part of revising it?
Yes. I am enjoying the story. The only issue is that normally when I write, I really focus on like setting and I overwrite. But for this draft, I wanted to try underwriting because I want to see if that was easier for the editing process.
How do you feel about it?
I hate it's mainly dialogue, and then like my editing is mainly like adding in the description, and it's just so much more monotonous. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
forgot how to say that word there. But
Monotonous?
yeah, it sounds like a weird word when I said it. But yeah, so that's just been not as exciting. So I'm still trying to find like the perfect balance, but it is way better than my past revision stuff I've done. So
Awesome.
So it is like in the right direction. Maybe
it
you're
is.
like fine-tuning the process.
It
every
is. I
time.
think I just should have gone middle ground and not like from
Mhm.
one extreme to another.
Yeah.
Should have just been a really small increment until
Yeah.
it worked. But yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
when I wrote Demons, so the first one, the one I'm revising now, I would go back every like 3 or 4 chapters or something and sort of fix some bits.
Mm.
And that was a good process because when I got to revising it the first time, it didn't feel like as daunting of a process
Yeah.
because I felt like I fixed some of the immediate issues quite quickly. And then when I wrote Project Rose, I just like pantsed the whole way. Like I just never stopped. I was just writing without stopping to revise anything. And now I'm terrified of going back because I know it's a 000 draft. And so I feel like now my newer project, I'm sort of doing an in between because I'm like, I can't do that anymore.
Is that
yeah.
becoming like a block almost, or like a creative block with Project Rose, where
I think I need to
subconsciously
just
you're like,
leave it alone for a little bit longer before I'm excited about the bits that were fun again.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
right now I'm aware of bigger issues. I just wrote down, like listed. I was like, oh, I'll need to fix this later, and didn't. And so now I'm like, I'm gonna have to fix that now. Like,
yeah.
it's scarier.
It's all catching up with me.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We're gonna
Getting there.
get through it.
Mar says, whenever I get to writing today, I will be starting to outline season 2 of my paranormal romance serial. Another serial in the house. I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm dreading it because while I know how it'll end, I have no idea what else I want to happen. I have a little bit of advice for this. So I also, when I was outlining my serial, was not sure like what to put in the whole middle. And so I looked up TV tropes and like sitcom tropes. So like the episode where dad comes to visit, or the episode where someone gets lost, and it like, you know, all these like tropes from TV or like common storylines that you see all the time. And that was fun. So maybe that would help. Michael has
Very
left us
nice.
an emoji
Thank
feast.
you, Michael. I shall take the burger and maybe the croissant.
Oh, yes. Oh, I see a fortune cookie. I'll take that one.
Ooh.
I think the loaf of bread will go really well with this. And is that ice cream or is that a bowl of rice?
I'm not sure. You can
Could be
say
either.
whatever you want it to be.
Ice cream would taste good with what I'm eating right now.
Out to the interpreter. Hi, Aramis. So excited to join you. I'm currently writing book 3 in my new series.
That's exciting.
Amazing. Nina just started on the map for the world, and I love it.
I
How
love
do
that
you
kind
make
of
your
stuff.
maps?
Yeah, what sort of process are you going through to make your map? Are you doing it like by hand or digitally? Or are you just like writing it? Like what sort of map are you doing? I'm very curious.
Are you using lentils?
Yeah, I love seeing videos of
Oh.
that guy who does this with like either lentils or rice or something and then just draws around it. I'm like, I don't need a map, but I want to do that.
So
Yeah.
genius.
Mhm.
Michael, in my opinion, editing as you go is never a bad idea. I think it's a balancing act. I think was it
Depends
Mark?
who, like, because for me, when I edit as I go, sometimes I'll stop writing because I'll be like, oh, I have stuff to fix and now I don't want to go on. And so I'm not in the flow anymore.
Yeah.
Which is why I need the balancing act. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I was watching Marta's vlog that she made recently where she said like she would only let herself go back over a chapter. I think it was maybe twice, and then she had to move on. So like you could give yourself like 2 rounds and then like boom, you have to move on.
Yeah.
In high school, that was how I wrote all of my stuff. I would write the chapter, and it was mainly like just the bits I knew straight away. Then I'd go back a third time and I'd add in the second layer, and then I'd add a third layer, and then I'd move on to the next chapter, and I kept doing that. But then
That's really professional for a high schooler.
I think that was just the OCD. But then a teacher told me that that was wrong because well, his whole thing was like, if you keep revising, you'll never continue forward. And in high school, I wasn't very good at explaining what I was doing. You know, you're just like, you just don't get me. It's like, you didn't explain anything. So then I stopped doing that. And I think I've just been like trying to find my way back to a version of that makes sense today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a teacher who, like, I always feel like sometimes teachers will give you advice on some stuff that you're like, but you're not an author, you're a teacher, and I don't know how much I should trust you on this, whether you actually know your shit or if
we're authors.
Like, okay, fair.
Which is why I believe them.
Because I had a teacher who basically completely ignored the existence of pantsers and was like, no, like, you have to outline if you're writing anything. Like, it was just basically, that's how you do it. That's how you write. You have to outline.
Yeah.
And later on, and I was like writing, you know, for fun at the time. And I was just like, no, I just like go for the vibes. I don't get it.
Yeah, very much looking back, this author's advice was don't get stuck on a chapter, like finish the story. Yeah. It was very good advice, but in my little brain, I was like, oh, don't do it at all. Okay. But now I recently read back the story I wrote during then, and it's not the greatest due to just how much I knew of the world, and like it has very much like one personal opinion like within the story. It's very clear. You can see me in it, even though I didn't want me in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wow, this reads way better than most of the stuff I'm writing now.
I feel that way sometimes about my high school and like early college stuff too, where I don't know, girl had she just had better prose sometimes, and I hate that.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
do you not think that's
cliche? But they're better.
Do you not think that's just because enough time has passed that you're not as critical of yourself as you would have been back then, but you're still going to be way more critical about recent stuff? So it's more about how you see your own writing and your criticism of yourself?
Yeah.
Partially, but I was a very confident teenager. So I thought I was great.
You thought you were the shit.
I wasn't cocky, but I was sure of myself. Is a good way to put it. I was
had self-esteem.
Yeah, I had a lot of that for some odd reason. My self-consciousness started when I was like 25.
Nina is making their map by hand. I am not good at it, but it's a lot of fun. I love making maps and used rice as well.
Yeah.
I bet you are good at
it. Are you filming the process? Make at least like a short or a TikTok.
I want to see this in action. Yes, pantser discovery writer. I
don't agree there's a correct term for it. I just think several people are coined it different terms. But yeah.
Yeah. My like writer soapbox that I could get on and rant about for a while is which I won't, but I dislike when people take plotter versus pantser out of NaNoWriMo context because it's not so black and white. Everyone falls in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, I actually call myself a planter because I'm very much in between anyway. And I feel like it is a spectrum, right? Like you're at one end or further in or at the other. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually think there is no difference. And 2 years, there's no difference in my personal opinion. And 2 years ago, I almost made a video about it. But thankfully, I talked myself down from that.
There's some hot tea right there.
What is tea? Tell us.
I just think, like, zero drafting is an outline. Like, I don't know how other people outline, but when I am in, like, pure plotter mode, right? I am bullet pointing the whole story, like going through of everything that I know. Where I'm like, oh, I know this will happen here. I know this will happen here. And in the end, it's just like a zero draft in some ways because I'm writing like scenes as well. And then I keep going. And then I go, okay, we're good. I've outlined the whole thing. And then I organize it with like, okay, well, this is probably act two, act, like that type of stuff. But how is my outline different from a zero draft?
Yeah. That's why I prefer Discovery Writer, because I think it applies to truly everybody.
But also, some people will not call their first draft a zero draft. They'll call it a first draft because it's a lot neater, probably because they outlined before.
Yeah. But I'm saying the first draft would be the draft after the outline for a plotter. And then the first draft for a pantser is after the zero
The draft
draft.
after the zero draft.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree on the plot. I agree on the plot and like the scenes and like what goes where. I don't agree on like other stuff such as the characters, for instance, because I have tried in the past being like, my character is going to be like this, and then I write it. I'm like, oh, my character's not like that at all. And to me, that I need to discovery write it. And if I just write it like bullet points, like you would an outliner would normally do, usually it's a little bit more. Depends the level of how deep they go into it. But I think for a lot of people in their mind, they're like, I'm not writing full sentences like you would a zero draft. You're writing more like bullet point format or something like that. When I do that, it just doesn't work. Like it doesn't work out. So I feel like for characters, that to me, that's different.
I also pants characters though. So
you also,
so I'm not like the best person to do this controversial take, but in my mind, I'm like, it's the same. And Michael, oh my gosh, I used to dress in 1800s clothing.
I wish I could like share a picture of this right now as evidence, but
I want to see the pictures.
I'm very proud of it. I don't know. I'd have to search for it though.
I also want to see Michael in a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Can we get those pictures, please?
Yeah. I just thought historical clothes were prettier. Like I never wanted to go back in time because that was just horrible. Like to live.
But the aesthetic, you can still appreciate.
Yeah, the clothing. And when I say 1800s clothes, I mean undergarments including.
Because you got to commit to the bit. You can't go halfway.
That was me in middle school.
I like that. I like the idea of them being cousins. Like they're very close. I wouldn't say they're exactly the same, but they are pretty much on the same level.
Yeah, I think calling it cousins is a fairer way to put it.
Well, I'm going to get us into our sprint before we chat any further. Let me see here. I hope everybody's got your document pulled up.
You're asking too much of us,
Hannah. Okay, let's do Laura Nettles.
Ooh, I like the coffee one.
Yes. Very cozy. All right. Happy productivity, everybody. All right, everybody, that is time up.
I like that you've got this at the end of this timer.
Yeah, so encouraging.
Thank
How do we
you.
do?
I basically just decided to. I said I was going to do this in Notion, but I started with writing down in
Nice.
my notebook the bigger, more general comments because I sort of just sometimes it feels like it helps me think better if I'm writing it down by hand. So I
Yes.
decided to start with that. Then I'll put it in my Notion so I can have like a proper organization system and everything. I worry that I'm procrastinating the moment I'm actually going to start by doing all of this organization stuff. I also feel like I've just spent a whole month of January writing every single day, so I'm going to allow myself this week to do it
Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah, I would find it really hard to go right from 30 days of serious drafting right into like developmental edits. Like that would be a little
Yeah.
brain melty.
And I think maybe I'm just a bit more worried because I haven't started yet. And it's like I'm plunging back into a book I haven't touched in several months now.
Yeah.
Like I haven't read this book in a long time now. So I feel like I just need to get my head around those comments again and figure out where could I change this? And then I'm going to start.
Exciting.
Yeah.
How about
How
you?
did you guys do?
I did good. Just line edits, just rearranging words. Nothing really to report. How about you, Anna?
It was good. I finished my lunch and then I got back into the chapter that I left off. So I got about 300 words and then just lots of, staring at the wall, trying to remember where I was going with this scene 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But
That's why, the advice that people leave of, oh, you should stop in the middle of somewhere where you're good and like you're going to be able to keep going.
yeah.
Yes, make a quick bullet note of what you want to do.
Yeah, big time.
Because if you don't touch it for a week, then you're like, oh wait.
And I am known to not touch things for a week, so I should definitely do that.
Fair.
We had a Laura join us. Hi, Laura.
Hello. Thank you for your timer.
Thank you. Yeah, all the timers today are sponsored by Laura Nettles, so this stream is sponsored by Laura. Laying in bed next to a candle, reading a book, my hike home, how to make home your happy place. I love that.
That sounds really peaceful and nice. I like that.
My bookmark is an empty disposable chopstick wrapper.
Are you a true reader if you've never used a random thing next to you as a bookmark? Usually I use my phone. If I'm going to get back to I'll just do like, sorry, I'll be right back.
I always use the receipt from buying the book, or that receipt then carries to other books.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually bought a really fancy bookmark with a friend. We went to Oxford together and I bought this leather one.
Ooh.
Like Bodleian Library of Oxford.
Oh. Ooh, I love that.
And it's leathering, so I needed the green one, so that's why.
That's beautiful.
I would love a beautiful one, but I just worry I'd lose it.
Well, I just use it in a book, so I'm not going to lose the book,
I mean, that is the, sane response.
Mars finished the chapter they were in the middle of and then got a bowl of Apple Jacks for lunch. Apple Jacks, so good. Wasn't feeling like making anything that took effort. Man, I forgot that Apple Jacks existed.
I'm sorry. I'm now thinking, but if I probably had a bookmark from Oxford, I probably would just like never forget about it. You know what I mean?
Now you're like, I would remember to use this.
Yeah, I would. But the Apple Jacks are also really good. I always think of My Little Pony.
The connection between these two sentences makes it sound like you're going to use an Apple Jack as a bookmark. Because you went from bookmarks to Apple Jacks are also really good.
Yeah.
Well, because my brain's so slow, I think today. But no, whenever I never had Apple Jack cereal growing up. I was like a Frosted Flakes, mini wheat scrape nuts type of person. But whenever I hear of Apple Jacks, I just think of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Because
Yeah.
when I was a babysitter, the kids watched it all the time, and it was there were some good plots.
The only way that I know of My Little Pony is very unfortunately through that trend of the bronies who made it
Mm.
into a hypersexualized show
Yeah.
that is not the thing.
Very
so I'm not gonna go there.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
to each their own.
So that's what I associate the show with, which is not good.
I did watch a video essay on them, on bronies.
Oh,
It was very good.
interesting.
Hi, Diane.
Hi. Have fun at work or have a good work day. Also a dinner sprint for Violet.
Nice.
Laura's halfway through your book. Very good. Wow,
Ooh,
fast.
Gosh.
And Mars, I've got a lot of bookmarks from people giving them as gifts over the year, but I only like to use 3 of them. I need like a little basket to put all my like bookmark shaped things in. Maybe then I would actually use them instead of throwing. I usually use pens as bookmarks.
Nice. I do that too sometimes. There's like a shop that I buy a lot of my books from, and they give you a bookmark every time you buy a book. It's just like a paper one, but it looks like this. It's just Blackwell's, which is
This
like a
is cute.
Those are
and,
pretty.
so I usually it's just cardboard, but they send you one with every book you buy from them, so you have a collection by the end.
Barnes and Noble gives you a bookmark sometimes, but it's like advertising for a new book about to come out, and it's so bright and colorful, and I'm like, oh,
it would annoy me.
yeah.
It's like having an ad when you watch a show, but except you're reading a book and you have an ad every time.
Yeah, and I don't know, but you see, if I had an Oxford bookmark, but
I'm gonna send you an Oxford bookmark.
No.
I'm gonna go and buy one, and I'm gonna send it to you.
You can't, because it's more magical if I'm in Oxford with you. You know what I mean?
All right, you're gonna come to Oxford, and you're gonna buy yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Then it's a souvenir and you really can't lose it.
Yeah, and I feel like I wouldn't want someone to send it to me. I would want to go to Oxford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a yearly tradition me and my friend do, because obviously it's only like an hour away from London. So we just like every year around Halloween time, we go to Oxford for the day. And like we go and have brunch and champagne and just like walk around the streets and go to
and it's
bookstores.
autumn and it's crisp.
Yeah, and she loves, just like me, all the witchy vibes and everything. So we dress up Dark Academia vibes for it, and it's just
I want to do that.
See all the murders from Inspector Morse, you know.
Exactly.
Perfect.
I'm going to throw up another question. We're on the topic of revising today. So here's something to mull over while we take our little break. So we're all working on projects in some phase that are in the middle of revising. I have tossed mine firmly onto the back burner, but y'all are revising right now. What was the most intimidating aspect of revising your project? And was there something that you were excited to revise? So the intimidation factor and then the excitement factor.
Do we answer these now, or do a sprint and then answer them?
Yeah.
What would you
rather?
Why don't we do a sprint first?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe like a shorter sprint, and then we can do a longer one so I can make dinner.
You got it. So everyone be thinking about this, and we'll go ahead and just jump right into a sprint then. And I think I have a 15-minute pulled up, if that works for everybody. Let me see.
I'm just out here dictating the length of the sprints based on my dinner needs.
That is okay. I like not having to make decisions.
Listen, I mainly ate during that last sprint. Food is the most important thing in the world, so it should be dictated as such.
100%.
All right, here's our little short baby sprint. Ready, set, go. Okay, that's the end of the sprint. Sorry, got a little sucked into my paragraph.
That's good. That's a good sign.
That was a really quick 15 minutes, but a good 15 minutes.
Nice. Does that mean are you getting back into the vibes of where you
Mhm.
were going with that scene 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago? And
Yeah, I left off in the middle of an argument. So I had
ooh,
to figure
that's
out
hot.
like where everyone was coming from and like what their motivations were. But we got there.
Nice.
But
I
yeah.
I managed to get through some of I started writing down in my Notion now the bigger like comments. So as I showed you, I made the list and then I've highlighted the
Mhm.
ones that I find are like gonna be more I need more scenes to fix this than just
Mhm.
one spot or one spot here.
Yeah.
And for one of them, I got sucked into writing the solutions that I'm gonna find. It's basically, I think it's based on one of your comments and my other CP comments, which was
Mhm.
that maybe there needs to be a little bit more interactions that are vulnerable and bonding moments between my main character and her love interest,
Mm.
because as much as I write the lust aspect really well, there
So
needs to be
good.
a love aspect. Um, and basically I started figuring out a little bit more of the backstory of my male character,
Mm. Yeah.
the love interest, that could lead to him being vulnerable and explaining, oh, here's why this, and that's going to be some of those moments. So yeah, that's why I got writing down, but just in my Notion I haven't touched the manuscript itself.
I'm so curious about all of that.
Yeah,
We'll be
I will
asking you
discuss
about
it
that
with you
later.
for sure. Because I'm gonna have questions and stuff, so I'm sure I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what do you think of that solution?" Or
Yes,
so.
please.
Oh, it went well. It's just editing. There's nothing to report. I
Trucking
made
along.
myself tea.
Ooh,
Yeah,
what kind of tea?
it's tea from my acupuncture. So I don't
Ooh,
know. It tastes disgusting.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's
Oh
why I keep
no.
holding it here for a long time so I can hide my reaction. But she told me it was going to taste disgusting. So she was like, it's going to taste real bitter. She's like,
Mm.
she told me it kind of tastes like um, black, like really, really black coffee. But I've never had
mm.
coffee before. So
Are you
if
allowed to
this,
put like? Are you allowed to put like milk in it or sugar and stuff like that? Make it no.
no, 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 no.
Why?
Because it's to help me. Um, but if this is what coffee tastes like, then all of you, every single person who's ever made some ridiculous coffee post, you have
No, no,
terrible
no. Okay, there's coffee lovers,
Mhm.
and then there's me and other people who only like cappuccinos, which are basically milk and sugar
Yeah.
and a bit of coffee.
I'm talking about the drip coffee pour over people who like make their whole personality that they drink
Yeah,
those things. By the way,
they're the
my like
same people they're the same people who forced themselves to like beer when they were 16 because they were like, "This tastes disgusting, but I have to like it. It's an acquired taste."
and just so we're clear, my like one of like my best friends in the whole entire world is a drip coffee drinker. And I have already called them and given them a piece of my mind about but I
I
mean,
love that.
but Henry tried it and he says it doesn't really taste like coffee. Like in the same way. But it's
I'm
still
very curious what it is now. But
Yeah.
I don't want to know. Um yeah, Henry figured
That's
out
what
what
I want you to try actual coffee just so you can compare yourself
I
and
yeah.
be like,
can't.
"It's
I'm
like this."
allergic.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that was even possible to be allergic to coffee.
That is what everyone says. And to answer the most common question, it is to the coffee bean, not the caffeine.
Yeah, so you can drink dark tea basically. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is the bean itself. That is the generally the first question I get asked. But it is hereditary.
Ooh.
So it's very common in my family. I don't
Who are you
know.
blaming? Your dad or your mom?
Yeah.
My dad, but
Okay.
he
The
never
English
knew.
guy.
Yeah, he
That makes
didn't
sense.
know.
They love tea so much.
Yeah, it's when he moved here. He went to like this coffee shop every day because he loved the taste of coffee. He had never had it before. And then, like, one day he was talking to the coffee guy, and he was like, ever since I came to America, I have had the worst migraine. And the guy was like, well, have you changed anything in your diet? And my dad was like, yeah, no, it's this. So we're just meant to drink tea. Oh,
Meant to be.
sorry. I just saw the Violet said the mushroom coffee. Henry
Oh.
has no, that's not the one I've tried. But Henry has this this type of like herbal thing that I don't know. It might have been made out of mushrooms, but it's not coffee. And he made it for me once. It might be like dandelion or something like that.
Something that's meant to taste like coffee?
It's something that for people who are trying to quit coffee, they drink to, like, I guess, fill
the void.
Yeah, to fill the void. It doesn't do anything that coffee does, but I know the mushroom coffee might.
Maybe I'll try it because I am one of those people who's trying to quit coffee. I don't drink coffee in the mornings anymore. And oh my God, it makes me so sad. I am lacking so much serotonin. It turns out that all of my happiness came from drinking a cup of coffee in the morning.
I'm one of those people like that does the other way around because I feel like we've had this discussion before. Like I don't have breakfast, I have coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
So I rely on coffee to just feed me. It's just my cappuccino.
That's why I had to quit.
Anna, have you tried chai?
I do like chai.
No.
Oh my! You haven't tried chai, Malin?
No.
You're in the UK too. Okay.
Yeah, but I have an espresso machine at home. I'm not gonna go outside. I work from home.
We're talking about this after the live stream. You all need to try chai. It's delicious.
Did we have some time to collect our revision thoughts? What do we think?
I think I thought long and hard about this. Did I just forget it because of this coffee conversation? No. Oh gosh.
Do you want to go after? You need to collect your thoughts.
You can go.
You're sure?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go then. Because I mean, technically, it's what I was literally saying right before. Is the intimidating part for me is getting back into a book you haven't read for a while and trying to figure out solutions. Like when you read comments and when you're like, I need to fix this. It's just thinking in terms of manageable stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the hardest part I've always found was thinking about, oh, this is going to have an impact. Like this is going to make a bigger ripple impact. And I'm going to have to change that scene and that scene and that scene if I want to change this. And sometimes I just don't want to change it because of that impact. So that's like the hard part for me. The stuff I'm excited about is actually also from getting my CP's feedback, because I get back into it and I'm like, oh, they got excited about this and they got excited about that. And that makes me excited about my own story again. So that's the fun part, is like maybe reading people's comments and being like, they liked some of it. It's not all shit.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, I mean, most people probably are writing something hoping that someone somewhere will read it someday.
Yeah.
And so when you get a little taste of that experience, you're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. You know, like the chat we were having in the Troublemakers Discord about like critique partners and beta feedback that's like, oh my God, or like the vibes, or that's the most exciting part, is when you get that kind of immediate reaction from someone.
Yeah.
And they just don't have the words. They just go like, what?
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
Okay, I do remember, and it's actually very similar to Malin's, but when I'm drafting, the second I reach the midpoint, I have this inner freak out where I'm like, oh my gosh, there's way too much going on the story. I don't have time to to like complete it all. So let's just get rid of this whole storyline. And then
Oh
I
no.
finish the draft and I read, I do my first read through and I realize, oh, that was the whole B plot that I got rid of. So then my most intimidating part is the
Rewriting your B plot.
yeah, rewriting that and just hating myself the entire time, being like, why? But at least I've said it publicly enough now where I hopefully won't do this anymore. But that's the most intimidating part.
And the next time you tell us you're deleting a storyline, we're gonna say maybe don't.
No. Don't.
We're gonna ask
me, not no to you. Do it.
We're gonna ask you more questions about it until we figure out whether it's a B plot or just like a separate, like a C plot.
I mean, what it is, it's just laziness. I just reach a point where I'm like, I don't want to do this. So let's just get rid of the plot.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But then I guess my favorite thing, also similar to Malin, but in a more messed up sense, I like when people read my story and are like, oh my gosh, I know what you're trying to do, but let's just like do this better. Because something about that, I'm like, oh, someone believes in it. Okay, yeah, let's tear this apart.
And it's nice to have help. Like, it's such a solo venture all the time. And like with anything else in life, it's like more ideas are better than one, more heads are better than one. But with writing, like for a while, you kind of have to go it alone, and it's nice to collab it a little bit.
But do you know what? I think for anyone who hasn't done it yet, because that was me at some point last year, it's so scary the first time you ask anyone to read your story. Like it's just the most terrifying thought ever is to be like, oh, someone else has to read this now.
Well, my fears, and I know I've actually said this to Anna when I sent her some of my writing in the past, where I'm like, please don't end this friendship because you read this and think I'm stupid.
No.
But it's like, even though you know that's not true, like that is like a general fear when you press send.
Yeah.
I would never think the person's gonna end the friendship, but
that's extreme.
Sorry.
I would never think that with someone sending me their work, but it's the first thing I think of when I press send.
But I'm always really, really scared of like, if you've never worked with someone before, what is their style of comments and revisions? And are they going to also tell you the good parts? And so I like to tell people like, hey, tell me all the stuff that doesn't work. I need to know. But can you also tell me what does work? Because it's also good for me to not delete it, it's good for the ego when you're going through the bad comments to go through good comments as well. And to be like, all right, I'm not completely destroyed by this. I agree that these don't work, but I'm happy to know some of it works.
Yeah. And then you don't toss out your B plot that is functioning quite well.
Yes. That's the goal.
Oh, I was going to say, so for me, when I went back and started redoing the fantasy book, I think the most intimidating thing for me, and I think the thing that I still need to work on a lot, is characters. Because when I'm zero drafting, like my characters are so inconsistent. Like they do whatever I need them to do in the moment for the plot to work.
Yeah.
And I think in the future, I would like to take a like character first approach rather than a plot first approach to plotting.
How? Because like it seems to me that that's sort of what you're doing with your Kindle Vella serial one, because Poppy comes from a different universe, the D&D.
Yeah,
universe
I know
originally.
So much better.
You had the character to start with.
Yeah, and it's been so much more fun and natural and organic, and it doesn't feel like I'm fighting so much to get my character into certain places. It's interesting. And I think that was something that both of you picked up when you read my latest Act 1. You're like, your character feels very different here compared to there, etc. So that intimidates me because, you know, fixing your character could change the plot. It could like wholesale have to cut things or rewrite things. Like that could have major ripple effects. Yeah,
we're all scared of the ripple effects.
Still scared, haven't figured that out. I got Malin and Hudson's feedback and then said, so I'm going to write a different story.
Which sucks because you only sent us Act 1. And it kind of ends on a cliffhanger.
And to be clear, like their comments were so nice and super right, and they're going to be so useful when I go back to this book. And it's just me having like.
But we're also frustrated right now because we don't have what happens next.
Like who does that? I mean, I did it to you too, Anna, but who does that?
It's a true sadist.
Yeah, I would not recommend doing that. I think I just wanted you guys to know what I was working on. Because it could be a year before I finish this draft. But anyway.
What do you find exciting?
I think the thing that I really love about revising is when I get to fix the white room syndrome and it becomes so much more cinematic, and like I can see the big jump up in quality from a draft where I was just trying to get the plot down. And then when I get to go back and rewrite that scene, and I'm not having to think so hard about what needs to happen and what needs to be said, and you can just focus on really painting it out. And that to me is like fun writing. Like that's what I love to do, is when you don't have to think so hard and you can just like really paint it up.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. Like in that Act 1, I think things got a lot more visual, a lot more cinematic, and I could sink into it a little bit more when I would read it. So that's exciting because then you're like, I'm doing something. It is improving. I can see progress.
That is exciting because then you're seeing it come to life, and it's like, you know, like the first draft or the zero draft or whatever is you telling yourself the story. Yeah. And then when you're getting to that part, you're like, I'm telling the story to others.
Right. Exactly. Mar says, I feel like the actual active revision isn't so bad, but getting started is so hard for me because I worry about making things worse. Oh, I didn't have that fear before, but you just put it in my head.
Oh my goodness.
Laura says it's intimidating trying to bulk up the length when you feel like you don't need to add to the plot, trying to increase character depth and make the interactions more meaningful and revealing. I feel that maybe a B plot.
Are you an underwriter, Laura? Because you're saying it's intimidating to try and bulk up. So do you start by underwriting?
I think it's also fair, like, if you're writing a novella, don't force it to be a novel, you know? If you like the length and you feel like it's effective and it accomplishes what you set out to do, like, that's chill. I like it. Michael does like the revising process. You don't have the drafting responsibility of creating the work for its very spirit, and you don't have the editing responsibility of smoothing every sentence. Yes, I like this.
I really liked the creating the work for its very spirit. That
it's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Beautiful comment.
I know. It's like a writer wrote it.
Oh my God.
I think the worst part of revising is the fear that this is as good as it gets. It never is, but I'm always excited to tighten up plots and see how that affects the characters. Yeah. I worry about that too.
I actually think that's why people get beta readers and critique partners. It's because at some point you will not see what could improve it, even though it could be improved. And so that's when you're like, others will help you, making sure that it is as good as it's going to get and it's going to be the very best.
Yeah, good point. Yes, I like this. And it makes foreshadowing so much easier. This has been really fun too in revising. Yeah, that was something I did not get until I started doing multiple drafts. Like, how do people just weave it all together so perfectly? And it's like, they don't until draft 4.
No, like, because you know who my villain is in my story. Originally, my was the term for when you have like a fake direction and you're trying to make
red herring.
Yes, a red herring. My red herring was originally my villain. And then I was like, no, I think she would be a good red herring. And this should be the villain. So it almost looks like it's all on purpose, but it was just me pantsing the hell out of it and be like, actually, I changed my mind halfway through.
I love that. See? Behind the curtain. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Hi.
The most intimidating aspect of revising my Vienna fantasy story was letting go. I was so attached to the original way the story went, but things didn't work out. And I changed the entire second half of the book, but I was excited making Sierra and Lucian's story what they deserve.
That's so hard is to let go, I agree. But that's also why I feel like I couldn't let go the first time I revised my story, but I was way more able to after I let it simmer for a bit and then went back to it. So sometimes you just need to take a break. And then when you go back to it, you have a,
better idea.
Yeah.
Or better, you're able to let go.
You have more like recoil and you're able to see things.
Yeah. Mara's got another chapter read, and now I've only got about 20 pages left to go. This book has been fantastic. Did you tell us what book you were reading?
Was it the Heike one, or was that someone else?
That was Laura who was reading that.
Okay, yeah.
I need the recommendations.
What book are you reading? Oh wait, no. She's reading The City We Became.
Oh, that was
yes. Because I remember, because I've got it on my TBR and I've been wanting to read it, but I still haven't gotten into it. It looks quite big, so maybe that's why I haven't gotten into it.
Yeah. More map work for Nina. I would love to see this map. Nina, if you share your maps, I would love to see it. I agree with this. Any coffee is fine if you add enough milk and sugar.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
We talked about the mushroom coffee.
Okay, what is this? I've
had many times the medicinal brew Hudson's having, or at least something similar. These kinds of brews are at the heart of Eastern medicine, along with acupuncture.
I've been going to my it's a husband and wife, and I've been going to them for a few years, and they normally give me herbs for like my chronic illness and stuff, and normally they're delicious, but this time it isn't. But they both told me it wasn't going to taste.
At least they warned you, and they weren't playing it off like this is going to be delicious.
Yeah.
Because if they hadn't, you'd be like, something's wrong with this batch. I need to buy a new one.
I mean, I have heard of this batch from like others who I know who go to them, and I was so lucky for so long that my body didn't need it. But yeah.
Like every time you take a sip now, I'm not gonna be able to stop myself but watch your face to see you look like you're like, this is gross.
I'm trying to hide it. But I don't feel too bad about hating it because they told me it was bad. Like if they told me it was gonna taste good, I'd feel like, oh gosh, I should like this.
Like that. I also randomly delete B-plot a lot.
Yeah.
Oh.
My issue is I start B-plot and then I don't finish B-plot, and I pretend B-plot does not exist. I'm ending our friendship. You hated my manuscript? You sent me your manuscript? Is this what your relationship with Anne is?
Is she your CP?
Chime in. Let us know. I have a paint palette. Is this because I'm wearing my Bob Ross shirt?
Probably.
I hope so. Mars has been reading while we chat, and I finished. This book was so good. Not perfect, but pretty close.
Oh, okay. How much do you rate it? I'm excited to read it now. Like, I just don't know that many people who have read it, and so it's just, I like to know what others think about a book before I start reading it.
Yeah. Well, do we want to do our dinner sprint for Malin?
Yeah, dinner sprint. I just need like 30, 35 minutes, whatever is good for you. I'm aware it's 20 to 8 for me.
Yeah, we'll do our sprint, and then we'll just wrap up when we get back. But this will be a good longer one, so we can end on a good note. Let me just
Michael explains the paint thing.
Oh, thank you. It is, the visual stuff really does not come in for me until revision, because I love dialogue, so I write like a screenplay a lot, or I write like almost just like moving people around, but there's nothing around them. Killing your darlings always hurts. Just save the snippets. Yeah, they can always live in a Scrivener file. Worst comes to worst.
Very true.
But then that creates other issues like your memory on your computer always being full.
Oh, well, that's why you have a thing like Dropbox, and you can leave things in archives that are not stored on your computer.
Hmm.
True. True.
Ask your Monica out of your friend group how to organize your computer.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but also I already have 4 hard drives.
Oh my god, what century do you live in? No one has flash drives anymore.
Oh my god, USB drives?
No, hard drives. Hard drives.
Oh, okay.
Hard drives. These are hard drives.
Clouds. Use cloud ones.
The cloud has screwed me over too many times.
Oh, fair enough.
So here's your reminder, everyone. Back up your work. Whatever archaic method you wish to use is completely fine. Back it
Just
up. And we will start our last sprint. Happy productivity. Okay, that's the end of the sprint. How did we do?
Sorry, I'm eating. I made my dinner and then just started eating it.
Good.
Sorry, I'm eating. Didn't do all much more except like a couple more comments that I've just
I did
transformed into more
made my
versions.
dinner and then just started eating it.
Good.
Sorry, I'm
Is it me? No, I don't think I have it open.
Okay.
But yeah, that was it. I just did a couple more comments. Obviously, the main goal was to make food.
Accomplished.
sorry. I thought I had that tab muted this whole time.
No worries.
I must have undid it by accident. But no, it went well. Just editing and fact checking differences in like words. You know, some words are not synonyms. Sometimes they mean different things.
Yeah. See, that's
Are you
why I
thinking of a
don't want
specific
to.
thing? Sorry, so I'm just curious because of your face. Are you thinking of a specific example when you're saying that?
No, it's just like when I was drafting, I remember thinking like an example, I guess, that is like, is this a pub? Is this a tavern? Is this a bar? But then not being too sure, I just switched between the three. Even though I might know the difference, I just at the time did not know what it truly was in my head. Like not the word, but the setting.
What you wanted.
Yeah. And so now I'm just like just slowly going through things, being like, oh yeah.
I don't want to line edit. That sounds so miserable.
Technically, I am not supposed to be line editing, but that has been bothering me for a while. Like not that particular thing, but like I can't say the actual one because that says too much. But I was like, I need to fix this now.
That was good for me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Malin.
No, I was just gonna say because you said, "Oh, I don't want to be line editing," and there's a part of me because I'm before the line editing that's like I can't wait to line edit and to be done
Really?
with it. Because it feels less thinking to me about like the how to fix things and more like how do I make this prettier. It feels like a different part of my brain will be needed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I would enjoy it for like 2 chapters and then I would be like, wow, this is hard.
Yeah.
I haven't done enough line editing to know if I like it or not, but the thing I hate about editing is the revising, is the Frankenstein monster of it all.
Mhm.
So in my head, I think I'll like line editing, but who knows?
I got to 1,000 words for the day, so that's pretty cool.
That's good.
I finished my argument. Some information was revealed. My character is in shock. Good times.
Are you also in shock, or did you know that was going to be revealed?
So I think I figured out what I wanted to be revealed, and I kind of had to make a decision about how bad someone was going to be. And so I wasn't totally decided on that when I started writing this argument about like what that person had done. And then I made up my mind and was able to get through it. But yeah.
Nice. 2,000 words is a really good amount.
Oh, 1,000. Did I say 2?
Oh, 1,000.
Sorry. What?
Still really good. Also,
Still
you were a few hours
better.
before me, so you've got plenty of time in the day if you wanted to write anymore.
Yes, this has been really good considering that I've been really in a big writing slump for the past couple of weeks. So I didn't think I was going to see 1,000 words for a while.
Nice.
But you did.
Hi, Kelly. Go ahead, Hudson.
What? Oh no, I was waving.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like.
Oh no.
Oh, Kelly is writing an exclusive scene that's going to be in the hardback copy of her book. Eee, that's exciting. Bye, Mars, if you're still here. Let me see. Okay, we can go see the map.
Ooh.
I'm going to go look at it as soon as we stop streaming. I'm very excited. Thank you for sharing, Nina. Done being productive for the day, started getting ready for bed. I can't wait for cozy time.
Same.
And 156 for Kelly. Woo woo. And a little party emoji. All right. Well, we've been going for about 2 hours, so I think we can wrap up. Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you guys so much. That was really good. I feel like having started on the revision process, I feel better about it now. So
you broke the ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel brain dead, but I'm feeling good. It's all positive.
Yeah, I'm feeling the break the ice feeling too, because it's like the longer I go without writing, the harder it is to finally sit down and do it. And like it kind of like builds up in your mind as like this thing that you're avoiding.
Yeah. You almost just have to do it and not think about it.
Yeah, which is why I'm really glad we scheduled the stream.
Nice.
Same.
Was it okay to write with your thumb?
It was, yeah. It's a little easier on my external keyboard than on my laptop because fingers get a little crowded.
Ooh.
But it's good. I should be able to take this off. I might not take it off tomorrow, but the day after.
Okay.
So just a little longer.
Good luck.
Do you want to do some outros?
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Hudson.
Nice. I've been Malin, and you can find me on my channel. I post sporadically, so every now and then you'll find a video. But I do make more YouTube shorts now to make up for it, so that's where you'll find me.
I have a bunch of those, but they're all too long, so I need to shorten them.
60 seconds.
60 seconds? Yeah. That's hard.
I think that's the max. Is like way shorter than the TikTok max is like much longer now. Yeah.
In general, it's 3, but some people do have 10 minutes. But I feel like
those video. This is post a video then.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a really rare one. I've only seen like one 10-minute video.
Okay.
And to be fair, it was a good use of the 10-minute video. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, I think it was something on like history, like a compilation. Yeah, and I didn't notice it was 10 minutes until I was like, wow, we've been here for a while.
Wow, yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with the YouTube shorts because like I only watch the ones that my friends make, and then the ones that like show up, it's like I don't even see them. I don't go to YouTube like looking for short content, so I'm interested to see how they work for people.
Yeah.
But anyway, my name is Anna Robbins. You're on my channel. I make videos sometimes, and we stream sometimes, so it's all very casual and chill. And thanks, everybody, all our writer friends who joined and got some good work done. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll see you soon at an undetermined date. Bye.
Bye.
I'm not going to wait for ages.
I know.
No, I'm not doing it.